presentation on proper interview etiquette with Captain Free and myself, Ashton Carter, and we're going to talk about what to wear and what not to wear, and different types of interview and how certain attire can vary. Okay, so to begin with, hair and cosmetic and nails. Keep your hair neat, and girls, when in doubt, let's say your straightened hair broke or something like that, a neat bun or a tight ponytail is always the way to go, when in doubt. And no unnatural hair colors, however, this can vary. Let it be known that there are no art schools in the state of Alabama. Let's say you're applying for some type of scholarship. Typically what students do who like to go to art school but they reside in Alabama, they just go next door to Georgia and attend the Savannah Art School. So let's say, then yeah, that would be appropriate to have your hair green or pink, or maybe even a facial piercing. I don't know, I'm not that type of kid. However, if you were to dress on the conservative side, nothing wrong with that. However, they would think you're just a bit dull and not very creative, and of course you want to represent the school very well. So in situations it can vary, but as in terms of what we're speaking about, applying for a job or something more conservative, always look neat and natural hair color. No heavy makeup. This can also vary. No smoky eyeshadow. However, if you're, let's say, want to be on the cover of CoverGirl magazine or something like that, then of course that'd be appropriate. But always dress on the conservative side. Don't have your lipstick be too red. If anything, wear lip gloss or just chapstick. As long as you have something, nothing makes it seems as though you're just a bit indifferent. So if you were to just present yourself well, then of course you look like you care. And always keep your nails groomed and nicely, or I didn't mean to say groomed nails, you can't really do that, sorry. Keep them clean. Don't let dirt and bacteria get underneath them, because that's disgusting. If you're going to wear acrylics, have them have no design on them, have them with white tips, shorter than an inch, no longer, and no type of print on them. And if you just have to wear nail polish, make it be something, if y'all can see that, it's like an offish pink white. However, it's not distracting, it's not a lot, so make sure it's nothing bright that would distract the interviewer.
So to go along with your hair and your nails, you have to coordinate your jewelry. But you don't want really big hoops or dangly earrings or distracting necklaces that people can't concentrate on you and what you're being interviewed about because they're looking at your jewelry. I actually had one friend that went into an interview and she had little jingle bell earrings, and the whole time she was talking she kept nodding her head, and every time she'd nod her head it would jingle, and the interviewer felt kind of awkward because she kept jingling. You don't want to do that in an awkward situation. So it'd be better to go with more of a small stud, like a pearl or a fake crystal or diamond in your ears. And also, to go along with your accessories, make sure that your jacket is not like mine, or it's not leather. It's not formal enough. Nobody likes to wear leather jackets. You will wear more of a blazer or a suit jacket if you're going to wear a jacket. Leather is too casual. And purses wise, you don't want a print purse like a Beard Bradley purse. You want something more, just a plain colored leather or tan, white, black, because people can get distracted by your purse. And also, to go along with that, you don't want a purse that is bigger than you. A lot of girls carry around purses that are twice the size of them, and it's very distracting, and you don't need that kind of size. Just carry what you need for an interview. You only need a couple papers. Don't want to be too distracting.
Okay, as far as hosiery goes and wearing skirts, always make sure, girls, you are wearing bloomers and spandex and stockings. Have your skirt be something like this. I know this is a little bit more than 3 inches, but for teaching purposes only. This is what I wore to KGC, this entire outfit without the watch. However, this is what I wore, and they didn't really care. He didn't really notice that, but it was appropriate. I felt a little bit overdressed because he seemed so indifferent. Like, I dressed up and got all nice, and you don't even care. But anyways, so have your skirt be no more than 3 inches above the knee, and reason being is because y'all probably can't see me, but don't cross your legs ever at an interview, even if you're wearing slacks. Always cross your ankles if you just have to cross yourself. Makes any sense.
With shoes, you have to, everybody's seen those people that wear shoes that are way too high and they don't know how to walk in them, and they waddle like penguins and sometimes fall. all seen it. You don't want to be that person in an interview that awkwardly falls or can't walk, and you're just staggering along the hallway to get to your chair. So it's better to just stay away from really tall shoes and go for more of a ballet flat or a very small high heel. Also, make sure if you're going to have shoes like leather or something that needs to be polished, that you do polish it, because you don't want to have dirty shoes or unclean looking shoes in an interview. You don't want to either, you want to keep your feet conservative too. Business people like conservative feet. You don't want to show your toes or your heel. Just keep your feet conservative and hide them. Nobody wants to see feet. Also, make sure your shoes are not distracting, just like your purse. You want them to blend in with your hosiery or a neutral color so that they're not looking at your shoes the whole time while you're being interviewed.
Okay, whenever you're wearing a fragrance, have your perfume or cologne not be too strong or your lotion too loud. Because the last thing, you want to be conscientious of those who are asthmatic, and the last thing you want is to kill your interviewer because they had an asthma attack and you were just trying to smell good. So, also wear deodorant. You don't want to stink either. So, if anything, if you don't know if your perfume or cologne is too loud or your lotion is too strong, just go to Walmart or the dollar store and get that little bottle of Jergens Classic Scent. It has no smell, however, it keeps your skin moisturized and not be dry. So you just want to always look your best.
So some tips for preparing for an interview are: make sure that you look over your resume the night before or before you go into your interview, because sometimes you might forget what you've done or how to explain something you've done. So you want to make sure you know exactly how to explain everything. Nothing is worse than going into an interview and then asking you a question and you not knowing how to respond, or your response isn't full enough for them. And another really awkward thing that might happen to you is, you know, in school we always have those people who leave their cell phones on during the middle of a test and it goes off and everybody gets mad and stares at each other, right? Yeah. So you don't want to be that person in an interview either, to have your phone go off and then have to awkwardly turn it off or pick it up and answer the phone and disturb your interview. That would be really awkward. So avoid that by turning your phone off or your iPad or any electronic you have. And another tip to make sure that you're not stressed out is to set your clothes out before the day of your interview, so you're not running around the house trying to find an outfit to wear, or so to make sure that you know it's going to be appropriate. And to go along with being prepared and not being stressed out, you want to make sure you set more than one alarm just in case that alarm doesn't work and then you wake up and your interview time has already passed if it's a morning interview. And then the last thing I'm going to say is about rolling all the animal hair off of your clothes, because it gets stuck on there and it's really embarrassing. Like, I actually had an interview a couple weeks ago and I wore a black trench coat, or I was planning on wearing a black trench coat. But I rolled it out a couple nights before and I set it on a chair not thinking that I had a cat. My cat is also gravitated towards black. So I got up in the morning and found my cat on my jacket. I thought nothing of it until I got into the car. And I noticed that there was white fur all over my black jacket. And I didn't want to get a bad impression in the interview, and it was a cold day. So I was very cold because I went without my jacket. So you don't want to have to go without a jacket.
Okay, and some general advice. Any event you know the interviewer prior to your interview, whether they be a family member or a relative or they've been at you before or a teacher, always be cordial. Be like, oh, hey, it's nice to see you again. Don't be like, girl, remember that time when we, no, don't do that. It's just, it's weird. And don't hug them either. That's also very strange. You wouldn't treat them as though you didn't know them. Always be cordial, but they just, what they're going to look for in an interview, even if you don't know them, of course, is that this person came, I've never seen them before, they were good, they were bad, and hopefully they won't, unless it's good, they won't have any prior judgment. Oh, I know this girl, so she has a good reputation, or oh, I know her, she's not going to get this job. So have a friend handshake, look them in the eye, have good eye contact, and treat them as though you did not know them. But stay professional. Yeah, maintain that professional distance. Don't tap your feet, because that's annoying. It's weird, and then especially if you're a girl, no one wants to see your jiggling leg. Yeah, don't do that. Let's say you are being interviewed in a group. Oh, and let me say, if you have more than one interviewer, I've been in an interview like that. I had 3 interviewers. Shake all of their hands, look all of them in the face, and be cordial to all of them. And when you answer a question, look. I know it's kind of weird looking back and forth at 3 people, but always make eye contact with all 3, or however many of them there are. And if you're being interviewed in a group, like I was interviewed with 3 other people, it was very strange. However, that's good because you can base your input from off of what they said. Don't interrupt the interviewer or the people you're being interviewed with, because in general that is rude. It's very inconsiderate, and then it shows that you talk too much. You're not willing to listen to other people and listen to other people's ideas, and then it's not very nice. Also, be politically and socially informed. So I applied for a year or so ago. I applied for a very prestigious organization called Youth Leadership Forum of Birmingham, and one of the questions they asked us was, how do you feel about the immigration laws pertaining to Mexico? And I wasn't ready for that. And there's a kid named Andrew Stringfellow, I can't believe I remember that name. He said something, and I based my input off of his commentary. I didn't say what he said word for word. However, I did originate my ideas from that. I said, going off of what Andrew said, Catherine. And then that's how I gave my input. But I'm not saying, when I'm saying being socially and politically informed, don't reread your history book or go look up stuff on Google. I'm just like, what I said, that was one of the interview questions. How do you stay informed? I watch the 5:30 news in the afternoon, and I listen to Tom Jordan, Steve Harvey, Ace and TJ in the morning. So I would stay connected through social media, kinda, and news networking. And also some more stuff in general that would really help. I know it's not up there. However, if you are applying, let's say, for some type of scholarship pertaining to a tuition or anything in general, it would be nice if you would go to the university and wear the school's colors, because it just like correlates to like where you want to go. It just be, look nice. That's what the knowledge I obtained from attending a workshop at Sanford. Also, if you're like a guy and you have like those football rings, I've never heard of that. Like, wear that to an interview, especially if you're applying for an athletic scholarship. That's a conversation piece. You could say, oh, that's a cool ring, and blah, blah, and then you could talk more with the interviewer and just be more comfortable. One more thing I wanted to add. For whatever position, let's say you get a job, or you're applying for a job. If you want to be, let's say, a hostess, research that position, find out what they do, and so you can know what you're going into and what you want to do. So, like, if they ask you, you can know prior to ahead of time. Let's say there is training. Well, you already have some background knowledge in which to further help you. And
so, in conclusion, we want to make sure as girls that we don't dress too distracting or carry anything distracting, and make sure you're really conservative. And if you follow the tips, making sure you're ready or being polite during the interview, then you should have a good interview.
Thanks. All right. Thank you.